Hey guys, what's up? GassyMexican here, letting you know that this week's episode of the Man Tank Podcast is up. If you guys are confused, you're like, what's the Man Tank Podcast? Basically, the Man Tank Podcast is the same podcast that me, Eads, and Swag and Kev have been doing, but just under a different name, and it's got a different home. So our iTunes page is actually up. You can go subscribe to us on iTunes. The links are in the description. And yeah, give us a review. Let us know what you think of the show and other stuff like that. You can always also send in questions to podcast@manatank.com. We always like getting you guys feedback and also questions. So some of the things we talked about this week, 3DS price cut, one of our writers on staff at manatank.com being at the Evo convention, big fighting tournaments and stuff like that going on there. We'll talk a little bit about that. And some other stuff. A little slower news week as far as gaming news, but we managed to crank out a podcast for you guys, and it's a pretty good one. So go ahead and give it a listen, and here is a little clip from the show. If you like what you hear, go ahead and listen to the full show on either manatank.com under the podcast page or on iTunes. And that is also in the description. There's a link. Okay, listen. Bye-bye.
Yo, THQ, it's dead, man. They're just like, we're done with it.
Hey guys, Brink is Brink. We're not making any more Brink games. What?
No way.
We got 6 sequels. There's a movie we're working on. Oh my god! But I wish more. Sorry, Max. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna finish your thought there.
Oh, I wish that more series could flat out just be like, we're done with this. This series is at a good spot. We don't want to make any more games. We are not going to make any more games. Like, I hope Mass Effect does not go beyond 3.
Not gonna happen.
But you know they will.
I wish Dragon Age would not have gone beyond 1.
What do you mean? Like, no, okay, let's go back to that for a second. Not go beyond 3 following Shepard, or not go beyond 3 in the series at all?
But dude, that's the same argument with me and Metal Gear.
No,
I hope they stop it. I hope they stop the Solid Snake saga with 4. But move on with the universe.
You think that the Metal Gear universe is as fleshed out and has more possibilities for stories to branch off as Mass
Big Boss
Effect is?
shit in the woods, Max.
You guys are crazy. You're a crackhead crazy. You're talking... Oh my god.
No, we feel about that game the way you feel about Metal Gear. Everyone... Mass Effect.
But if you examine... Alright, where does Metal Gear and all this shit take place? Take place on Earth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does Mass Effect take place?
Doesn't matter, man.
The fucking universe.
Sure. Snake goes to space. They're just always adding new shit. They're like, hey, you know the first person in space? And you're like, yeah. Oh, that was the boss.
That was actually the boss.
That would be a stupid storyline.
And you're like,
yeah.
Now guess what, Max? It happened, and it was good.
Now that I remember my grade 9 social, I think you might be right.
Yep.
That was the boss.
This is
that's
stupid.
When I learned about the moon landing.
This is a stupid comparison. You guys are stupid.
No, it goes with all games. It goes with, like, Final Fantasies. I wish they would have stopped this a long time ago, because I used to like Final Fantasy. There was a time when I was like, oh, new Final Fantasy game, maybe I'll play that. Now it's like...
You guys just can't acknowledge that Mass Effect has a huge universe that... I'm just saying it'd be easier
it's
to
more
branch
vast
off.
Than Metal Gear. I get you,
There
Max.
we go. That's all I want.
That's
all I want. That's all I wanted to hear.
But the more games you make, like, the more...
That's all I wanted to hear, Eads.
The higher the chance that you're going to have a flop and just totally tarnish the series for everybody. Like, I wish they would stop making God of Wars. God of War 3 is great. They should stop. That is a good ending. Leave that series. There's like a... Spoilers coming here, guys. There's a blood trail, and Kratos dragged himself away after he stabbed himself. Just be like, he dragged himself 2 feet and then died.
He stabbed himself?
Yeah.
Man, spoilers,
he dragged himself 2 feet and then died. Just off camera. He made it off camera, but was still dead.
Well, I'm just saying, like with the whole Shepard series, you can end it with after the 3rd game, but there's still so much that can be told in the Mass Effect universe.
Yeah. I sort of like leaving it
and not ruin the series.
Well,
not
there's so
ruin
much
the previous
you can tell
stuff.
in any game,
Yeah,
right? As long
absolutely.
as you create one game, you can say that the world is never ending. You can just
But
say,
the-
"Oh, we made a Dragon Age game, so now we're gonna make 15 more because."
Well, that's
Yeah.
why
we
they have
the
like
world."
Final Fantasy X-2.
Exactly.
But you
now
guys
they're doing
don't
Final
understand.
Fantasy
You
13
guys
too.
really are not get what I'm saying with the whole like it's especially with
No,
Mass Effect.
I get that you really like Mass Effect.
No, not that I
Trust
really
me.
like Mass Effect, but just the fact that it's on a universal scale as opposed to just.
I get it
that.
too, but there are stories to tell in that universe. There's a vast amount of stories to tell in that universe.
Yeah, but I don't
Like
think.
how, like the origins of fucking Yoda could be told in that universe.
Oh, another ant.
Why are you going back to Yoda?
Bring it back, opening old wounds. I don't think that Mass Effect is any richer than any other well-developed game universe. It just happens to take place on a bigger scale. But you could tell an infinite number of stories in any game universe.
It's true.
I wasn't.
Absolutely.
That's not what I was debating. I was debating what you compared it to Metal Gear.
I think Metal Gear is. I think any game series could be. You can just add stories and be like, you know what, this took place in this universe, and you're like, yep, They said that, so it's canon
you
now.
just say, "Oh, look, it's 50 years in the future. There's a new leader, and he's
Absolutely.
gonna."
I know,
blow
but
something
see
else
a
up."
game like Metal Gear, a franchise like Metal Gear, you'd have to do the whole time. You wouldn't have to, but you just mentioned the whole time travel thing, like, oh yeah, 50 years in the future or whatever. It's like this, with Mass Effect, you could have something going on crazy, like with the Blue Suns and all that stuff.
You could still have something crazy going on with the
I'm not
Patriots.
saying that you
going on
can't.
with-
Oh my God! Let's just move on. Let's move
sounds
on.
like he's
Let's
saying
just
that
move
you
on.
can.
It's
You know
okay.
what?
No. We're
got
done
some
here.
anger
All right.
coming on this one. I think we should just move on.
Let's just
Say
move
what you want
on.
about me,
That
but
was
never
good.
about documentary.